Hello, everybody. As Avraham Avinu turns his attention to finding the appropriate shidduch for his son Yitzchak, he turns to his trustworthy servant Eliezer, who's described as Avdo Zakan Beito Hamochshel B'chol Shalom. Clearly, Avraham had a basic trust in Eliezer, albeit we know from the Medrash that Avraham had reason to suspect that Eliezer might not want to see Avraham's plan come to fruition, because Eliezer had a daughter whom he thought was a worthy shidduch for Yitzchak. Nonetheless, the Torah describes Eliezer as someone that was most trustworthy. And therefore it's somewhat surprising when Avraham turns to Eliezer and says, Simno yadcha tachas yirechi va'ashpiacha. He wants to have Eliezer engage in a formal oath that he would remain true to Avraham's instructions to find a wife for Yitzchak, not from the Canaanite people, but to go back to his original homeland and to find a wife from there. Why did Avraham suspect Eliezer? He was, after all, in charge of the entirety of the household. The Shem Shmuel offers a very interesting psychological insight, and he points out that all of us have internal kochos, strengths, capacities, abilities to do things that we would never imagine we could do. They're there, but sometimes we are totally unaware of them. And therefore, when a person is faced with a challenge, he might at times say, I can't do it. I won't succeed. And he's unaware that there is within him the ability to succeed, the ability to deal with the challenge that is before him. Avraham was intuitively aware of the many pitfalls and difficulties that would be placed in the path of Eliezer in finding an appropriate helpmate and shidduch for his son Yitzchak. And therefore he didn't want Eliezer to shortchange himself and to give up. When a person, therefore, has to take a certain oath or commitment to an outside body, then suddenly he realizes a greater mechuyavut, sense of obligation, to succeed no matter what, to somehow find the inner strength and capacity to meet the challenge that confronts him. And therefore, not because Avraham didn't trust Eliezer, but he was afraid that Eliezer might not trust himself. So he wanted Eliezer to feel a sense of commitment to Avraham in the formal plane to succeed in the mission, so that when challenges would arise, Eliezer would say, but I made a promise, a solemn oath to Avraham. I've got to find a way to succeed. And perhaps this also explains why sometimes people who want to be mizarez themselves, they want to spur themselves on to reach higher achievements. So why don't they simply say, okay, I'm going to do it? But no, what they do at times is they undertake a formal Kabbalah, a formal acceptance, almost like a vow to themselves to undertake whatever good deed it might be or whatever proper behavior might be called for. And so that's what Avraham wanted from Eliezer. And in here lies a message to all of us that sometimes we shortchange ourselves, and we have to have belief that in Tirtzu, if we really want to succeed, we can find the way to do so in so many cases. Shabbat Shalom Umevorach.